It's the middle of Jesus' final week, and much like our Wednesdays, it seems a little ordinary. It's believed that Jesus stayed in Bethany once again, outside the city of Jerusalem with his disciples, in anticipation of Passover, so they were just resting for a few days after a really full and busy first few days. There's no record in the Bible of the events on this Wednesday. It doesn't seem to the disciples like much is going on. They started the week off with a triumphal entry, followed by the cleansing of the temple and cursing of the fig tree, and Jesus telling that his hour had come. They started out the week thinking that the Messiah had come and everything was sort of going to plan. But behind the scenes, the Sanhedrin are figuring out how to eliminate Jesus. They're plotting with an insider, a disciple named Judas, and they're making a plan to kill Jesus. Let's read it in Matthew 26. It says this: "Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples, went to the leading priests and asked, 'How much will you pay me to betray Jesus to you?' And they gave him 30 pieces of silver. From that time on, Judas began looking for an opportunity to betray Jesus. If it happened to Jesus, it can also happen to you. But here's what Jesus knows on this Wednesday of Holy Week. God can use even betrayal for his ultimate purpose. Why did Judas betray Jesus? Why do people betray us? Often it's because, like Judas, they have their own selfish self-interests at heart. Most likely what was going on with Judas was he was hanging out as part of the 12 to see what he could get out of Jesus, hoping to benefit from association with him as the new reigning political power. No doubt he expected to be among the ruling elite after the revolution. By the time of Judas' betrayal, Jesus had made it clear that he planned to die, not start a rebellion against Rome. So what Judas found with the chief priests was an opportunity to betray Jesus. Also, it tells us in the parallel passage in Luke that Satan had filled his heart. So there's a spiritual warfare dynamic going on as well. In Psalm 55, King David is writing about being betrayed by his right-hand man, his trusted man that he would go to for advice. When David's son Absalom was trying to overthrow him, his right-hand man rebelled and went to the other camp. David writes about this betrayal in very emotional terms. He said, "I wish I could fly away and escape." He said, "What hurts the most is because this is somebody I journeyed with, I was in a small group with, I worshiped with, I was with all the time." But at the very end of Psalm 55, he says, "But I will trust in you. I will trust in the Lord." Even when we're experiencing the pain of betrayal, we know that God can use that betrayal for his ultimate purposes for our life. So we trust God. Paul says it this way in 2 Timothy 4:16, "Even though at my last courtroom appearance no one stood with me, may it not be held against them." So what Paul decided to do in this betrayal was to forgive. In your betrayals, whether they're close family members that have betrayed you, church members that have betrayed you, co-workers that have betrayed you, stabbed you in the back, told secrets that you asked them not to share, whatever it is, you can demonstrate your trust in God this week, just like Jesus did, and say, "God, you have a plan, and I trust you. And the way I'm going to demonstrate that is by forgiving that person, by no longer holding that offense against them."